Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive, age-old concept, destiny. We'll be diving straight into the Risale-i to see if destiny is just a convenient excuse for our daily failures or if it's something totally different. We throw that word around all the time, right? But by the end of this, you're going to see it in a completely new light.
We've all been there. It's that completely relatable situation where something goes totally sideways. You make a silly mistake, a meticulously crafted plan falls apart, and almost like a reflex to protect our egos, we instantly blame the universe. We just throw our hands up and say, well, it was destiny.
Think about it practically. You completely ignore your textbooks for a whole week to play video games. You walk into the exam room totally unprepared and, well, inevitably, you fail. But instead of owning up to it, you just shrug it off as fate. You tell your friends, guess it just wasn't meant to be, right?
Or hey, what about the classic morning routine? Your alarm goes off, you hit snooze, 6 times, and you completely miss your early class or that super important morning meeting. The absolute easiest comfort is just telling yourself that apparently it was already written in the stars that you were going to sleep in today.
Okay, let's really dive into this because actually, maybe your alarm clock is totally innocent here. In everyday language, people almost always use destiny to mean a complete lack of choice. They use it like a shield to say, I had absolutely no say in the matter. But according to the text we're analyzing today, there's a much broader, honestly fascinating framework at play here that we're completely missing. To really grasp this, we need to totally shift our perspective. We're going to look at how the 26th word of the Risale-i attempts to redefine this massive concept. The author basically strips away all these human excuses and asks the reader to look closely at the very fabric of how the universe itself is put together.
So in this framework, destiny isn't a passive excuse at all. It's an active, fundamental principle. The text defines destiny as measure. It means proportion. It means determination. It's actually arguing that destiny is the underlying mathematical blueprint of reality itself.
Now, to truly get what the author means here, we're going to look at the absolute absurdity of a world without these built-in limits. And we don't have to look very far. Actually, let's just start right here, with our own bodies. The text suggests your body is literally a masterpiece of this concept of measure.
Just notice this simple, everyday contrast. The hair on the top of your head, it just keeps growing continuously. Eventually, you got to go get a cut. But thankfully, remarkably really, your eyelashes have a very specific, measured limit programmed right into them. They grow to a certain proportion, and then they just stop.
I mean, imagine the alternative for a second. If your eyelashes grew wildly like the hair on your head, we would have an entire massive industry of specialized eyelash barbers. You'd have to visit them every Saturday, like, hey, just to trim on the eyelashes today, please, let's keep them natural. If you let them grow even a little too long, you literally couldn't even see your phone screen.
It's funny, but it brilliantly illustrates the source's main point. Different parts of the exact same body grow according to totally different, exact, and highly specific measurements. Your hair, your nails, your bones, your eyebrows, every single thing operates within a determined proportion. The text argues this isn't random at all. This is destiny functioning as a measure. And this concept absolutely does not stop at human biology. Let's look outside, because the text builds its argument by pointing out that this blueprint of proportion extends to literally everything in the natural world around us. Look at how a simple piece of fruit grows. An apple developed within one highly specific spherical form with a very clear boundary. Meanwhile, a watermelon develops within a completely different set of proportions, specifically designed to hold way more water and mass. Because of this built-in destiny, this fundamental measurement, apples don't normally reach the size of heavy-duty truck tires, which, let's be honest, is incredibly good news for anyone who enjoys sitting under an apple tree on a breezy afternoon. These limits protect the very order of things. So the crucial takeaway the author is driving at here is that the entire universe is absolutely full of precise measurement. And this isn't just some fun biological or botanical fact. For the author, this serves as a doorway into the true, profound idea of destiny. To see how essential this is, we just have to look at how we ourselves create things. Let's think like an engineer for a quick second. Imagine a builder comes to you and says, hey, we're building a massive new suspension bridge over this huge river. The very first thing you're naturally going to ask is, okay, well, how long will the bridge be? Now, if that lead engineer casually looks at you and answers, you know what? Whatever feels right. We'll just start building from the cliff and kind of see where we end up. You should immediately be terrified.
You absolutely cannot build a stable structure based on vibes or randomness.
So you try again. You ask a critical safety question. Okay, but how much weight should this bridge carry? What's the load capacity? In the language of our explainer today, you are asking for the determination, the measure.
And if the engineer just shrugs and goes, I don't know, let's see what happens when cars drive on it, yeah, that is simply not an engineering plan. Obviously, there is no way you are driving your car across that bridge. Without proportion and strict limits, the bridge is doomed to collapse.
Just as any functional, physical design in our world requires strict mathematical measurement to even exist and function safely, the Treatise on Divine Determining asks us to notice this exact same reality in existence itself. The text argues that the universe simply doesn't operate on a let's see what happens basis.
Therefore, the text concludes that true destiny is so much more than just sitting around asking, well, what's going to happen to me tomorrow, or using it as a cheap excuse for sleeping in. It asserts that destiny is deeply, fundamentally connected to the beautifully measured, ordered, and perfectly proportioned form in which all things exist. It is the grand design.
So before we jump straight to asking if destiny removes our personal freedom, I want to leave you with this really provocative thought from our explainer today. Reflecting on everything we've covered, from the exact length of our eyelashes to the structural integrity of bridges, ask yourself, why is reality filled with such perfect, undeniable measure in the first place? It's a question that completely changes how we view the world around us. Thanks for joining me, and keep exploring.